The world is ran off credit. Everything you do, from buying a house, getting a car, a job, even starting a business, requires credit. So if you don't have good credit, that's going to hold you back from getting the best houses, the best cars, and everything like that. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to repair your credit and build your credit so that you can be able to leverage your credit for a better life. And this is one of the first videos in a series, because I do plan on making videos about how to build your credit and business credit. So subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Natalie. I'm a business owner, and my goal is to help you start your business and be successful. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, comment below, and let's get straight into it. A lot of people talk about credit repair, but I'm not going to just talk about fixing your credit. I'm going to show you how to grow your credit. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to repair your credit. In order to repair your credit, you're going to need to be able to view your credit report. So I like to use two different platforms that are free. First one that I use is called Credit Karma, and you can look at your TransUnion and your Equifax reports on those. A lot of people say that Credit Karma isn't accurate on your score, but it is a free platform, so you don't have to worry about paying for your credit report. And it gives you a lot of tips, and it's very helpful when you're new to building your credit. So make an account with them. And also, secondly, you can view your Experian account with Experian.com, and they will try to charge you to view all three of your credit reports, but I just only view Experian on that platform, and it is free. Once you're able to view your credit report, the first thing that you want to take care of is any collections that you may have. The first thing I would tell you to do is to dispute any collections that you may have, and I'm going to put in my description the 3 credit bureaus' address so that you can send in your dispute letters. And it will take approximately 30 days for you to hear back from them. And if you win the dispute, you will be able to get those items removed off your credit report. And if you don't get these items removed on your credit report, it's okay. Anything that is over 7 years old, it should not be on your credit report. And you want to look at your credit report and see if there's any discrepancies. So you want to make sure that the amounts that are owed are correct, the dates are correct, your name and your address are correct. So if anything is incorrect, then you will be able to get those things removed from your credit, because that is inaccurate information, and it is illegal to have inaccurate information on your credit report. Even if it might be you that did it, go ahead and dispute everything. If they can't find their record or prove that's your debt, they will have to remove it. So be sure to dispute every single thing that's on your credit. Anything that's left over, you want to be able to pay those things off. So there's 2 ways you can go about it. You can make an agreement, or you can make small monthly payments. And when you call them and talk to them on the phone, if you want to settle the payment in one big lump sum, a lot of times they'll work with you and allow you to make a smaller payment than the total amount that you owe. And I understand that a lot of people have other bills and stuff they have to pay. If you need to make monthly payments in order to pay off your debt, it's okay. Talk to them and make sure that you can come into agreement with them with an amount that you're comfortable with paying. Sometimes they'll try to tell you that, no, we can't take that a small amount, but I was able to get it to where I was only paying $25 a month, and I just had to keep talking to them, and I was like, this is the only thing I can pay, and I'm sure they'll rather take some money than no money at all. So just keep talking to them and find an amount that's comfortable for you in your price range. Just start somewhere, guys, okay? No matter what the small amount is, over time, you'll be able to get these things taken off your credit, get them paid off, and be able to move on with your life. And just be aware that once you start paying your credit off, there's going to be creditors that's going to call you from years ago trying to collect money. But if they don't show up on your credit report, I would not worry about them, because if it's not showing up, then it ain't never going to show up. So do not worry about people who are calling you from years ago. I have people called me from 10 years ago talking about I owe them some money. No, ma'am, do not call my phone. Don't call my phone about no debt from no 10 years ago. After 7 years, it is done. So just be aware of that, because people will try to come and find you once they see that you're working on your credit. The next step that a lot of people don't talk about is how to build your credit. This is the most important step, because this is going to be able to take you to the next level. This is going to allow you to get funding. This is going to allow your credit score to grow and to mature. This is the most important step that a lot of people don't talk about. So the main things that affect your credit score are your credit age, credit utilization, positive accounts. That means credit cards accounts, loans, car payments, house mortgages, those type of things. As long as those type of things are on time, that helps to build your credit. As well as inquiries also affect your credit score. So when we talk about credit age, your credit age is the average of all your accounts put together. So you want to have a good credit age. So that's why you got to start off young. start off early in order to have a good credit age. Inquiries, if you have too many inquiries, that can affect your credit. A lot of people, when they start seeing their credit score go up, they try to go and get a whole bunch of credit cards and they start applying for stuff. Once those creditors see that you have a whole lot of inquiries, it raises a red flag because it looks suspicious. Like, why are these people trying to open up all these accounts all of a sudden? So you have to be strategic about how and when you try to apply for a new line of credit. Now, when you apply for credit, the first thing I would say is every 6 months apply for a credit card. You don't want to apply for too many at a time. When your credit is new, you're not going to be able to get the best credit cards. You might have to start off with a secured credit card. And what a secured credit card is a card that you have to pay money first in order for them to allow you to have a credit card. So you put $300 down and then your credit limit will be $300. Some of those companies will notice that if you make payments on time, they will allow your credit score to increase. But these secure credit cards are a good tool to get you started with your positive credit history. Once you start growing your credit, you can apply for unsecured credit cards. And those go off of your income. So when you're putting down your income, you want to be able to have a good income. So whatever that may be. So if you put your income down, just remember that you don't have to provide any information until you make it over a certain amount, most of the time. So as long as you're not making over $300,000, most of the time they're not going to ask for any receipts. So when we are talking about positive accounts, those are credit cards, those are car payments, mortgages, and even loans. So you want to be able to have a good mix of different kinds of credit on your account. A lot of people get a credit card first to start out, and those are very easier to get. Those are the most simple type of credits to get. Loans can be a little bit more harder. They want a little bit more information. So the best thing I can tell you guys is to start off with a credit loan. And it is very important to have all your payments on time. And if you do fall behind, just remember that as long as it's not 30 days late, it won't show up on your credit card as a late payment. And that's with anything. Everything has to be at least 30 days late for it to show up on your credit as a late payment. So late payments, even one late payment can crash your credit. So make sure that you're paying everything on time, okay? Okay, now when we talk about credit utilization, a lot of mistakes that people make is they get their credit card and they max it out for stuff that they don't need. Buying, shopping, and just using their credit card. No, you do not want to do that. That is going to ruin your credit score. It's going to make it go down. So the rule of thumb is 30% of your total credit utilization. So if you have a credit card that's $1,000, you do not want to spend no more than $300. If you go over 30%, it's going to bring your credit score. But if you have 2 credit cards for $1,000 each, then you can spend $600 and still be at 30% utilization. Okay, so keep your utilization low. And important thing about let's go back to positive accounts. The more accounts you have really helps your credit score. So you want to have a lot of accounts, but don't get those accounts too close together. Now, when you have inquiries, they do stay on your credit for 2 years. So be careful with trying to apply for stuff over and over again. But after a while, those inquiries will go away. They won't have such a big impact. But you don't want to have 10, 12 inquiries on your credit. It doesn't look good. Okay, now that you have the basics of building your credit, let's talk about being strategic with your credit to increase your credit line and to be able to get the most that you can out of your credit. Like I said before, you want to get a new credit card or line of credit every 6 months. You don't want it to be too close together. And I hate when a lot of people always say, oh, you can have an 800 score in a month. It's not possible because, first of all, your credit age takes a part into that. So you have to have a certain amount of years before you can even get 800 credit score. So your credit age is very important. So once you're building your credit, the more credit cards you have, the more lines of credit you have, it's going to make your credit score strong. When you have these credit cards, and while you're in between applying for a new line of credit, you want to be able to have the cards that you have, you want to be able to increase your spending limit. So that when you apply for your next credit card, they'll see that you have a certain spending limit. Say they see you have a $1,000 spending limit and you're doing good, they'll trust you with $1,000 too because another business trusts you with $1,000. Or sometimes they'll even trust you with more. So once you get your credit, do good by it, pay it off every month, and then usually within 6 months you can call them and tell them that you're looking for a credit line increase. So you want to do that every 6 months with every credit card that you have, is keep asking for a credit line increase. And over time, you will be able to build it up and to be able to have 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, 100,000 credit cards. And once you get 100,000, 200,000, you're able to take that credit and do something with it, okay? Do you hear me? Then once you have a certain amount of credit cards, you'll be able to apply for credit cards that have benefits. That's where people get free travel, free money. That's when that stuff comes into play. So there's credit cards that you could spend a certain amount of money. Say they say, okay, within 90 days, if you spend $1,000, we'll give you $500. So guess what you do with that? You take that card, you pay your bills with it, and you pay it back at the end of the month. Once you spend that certain amount that they ask you to spend, they're giving you $500. There's even travel credit cards that you can do the same thing with, and you'll be able to get free airline tickets and be able to get free travel. And people do that all the time. But you have to start from square one, build your credit, and be responsible with the first credit cards that you have in order to get those credit cards that have benefits, cash back benefits and stuff like that. Once you get to a certain credit score, you don't want to just get a credit card for no reason, because you're helping them. When you spend your credit card, they get money from transaction fees. That's why they're giving away those free benefits, because it pays off in the long run from the people that don't do right with their credit. At a certain point, you're gonna be able to get these credit cards and they work for you. And that's why a lot of people, they don't use debit card, they use their credit card. Because guess what? There's credit cards that even when you buy something with them and somebody steals that item or you lose that item, you file a claim and they're going to give your money back. You can't do that with a debit card. So let's get to building your credit. This is just the first step in the credit journey and leveraging your credit. But I want to start with the basics so you guys can fix your credit, build your credit, so we can move on to the next step, because the next video I'm going to talk about business credit. And then we're also going to talk about leveraging your credit so that you can do something and even make more money with your credit and start a business or whatever you want to do with your credit. So stick around, subscribe, follow me, and we're going to get this money together.